The bottle shattered against the tiled floor like a gunshot in a confessional. Red wine splattering across Noah's pristine white shirt as the entire dining room erupted in laughter. "Faggot spilled his fairy juice," the burly manager bellowed. His face twisted in drunken glee, while the waitstaff, his cronies, high-fived like they'd just scored a touchdown. Noah froze, heart slamming against his ribs, the metallic tang of humiliation rising in his throat as Jackson's hand slipped from his under the table, cold and distant. Noah had always believed that love was the kind of thing that could weather any storm, the sort etched into the cracked sidewalks of Brooklyn where he'd grown up dodging rain puddles and his father's Bible-thumping lectures on sin. But tonight, in the gilded glow of the oak and vine, Manhattan's self-proclaimed haven for the elite, that belief cracked like the stem of the Merlot glass now crunching under his sneaker. He was 28, a rising tech whiz with a loft in Williamsburg and a portfolio that could buy half the block. But here, amid the clink of crystal and the murmur of hedge fund whispers, he felt like that scared kid again, 18, kissing Jackson for the first time in the shadow of the Brooklyn Bridge, fireworks exploding overhead like God's own approval. Jackson. God. Jackson. His anchor, his storm, his everything. They'd met 6 years ago at a queer film festival in Bushwick, Noah nursing a cheap IPA and Jackson, tall, broad-shouldered, with that easy grin and eyes like smoked whiskey, leaning in to whisper, "This flick's got nothing on the plot twist of you showing up." It was corny as hell, but Noah had fallen hard, fast, the way you dive into the East River on a humid July night, knowing the current might pull you under but trusting it won't. Jackson was a line cook then, dreaming of owning his own spot, slinging plates at a dive in the village while Noah coded apps that tracked carbon footprints for guilt-ridden CEOs. They balanced each other. Noah's quiet intensity to Jackson's roaring laugh, Noah's spreadsheets to Jackson's gut instincts. But lately, the balance had tipped. Jackson's shifts at Le Petit Bistro had stretched into dawns, his texts curt, swamped, "Babe, love ya," and Noah chalked it up to the grind, the American dream's meat grinder that chewed up romantics and spat out husks. Tonight was supposed to fix it, reservations at the Oak and Vine, a splurge to celebrate Noah's latest funding round. "Let's remind ourselves why we fight," Jackson had said that morning, kissing Noah's temple in their sun-dappled kitchen. So here they were, squeezed into a corner booth, Jackson fidgeting with his napkin like it held state secrets. The waiter, a slick kid with a man bun and a name tag reading Tyler, had eyed them from the jump. Noah caught it, the lingering stare, the smirk shared with the busboy, as they ordered. Oysters, ribeye, the 18 Cabernet. Simple. Intimate. But when Tyler returned with the bottle, Jackson's foot hooked around Noah's ankle under the table. A silent promise. Everything shifted. Tyler poured with exaggerated flair, then tripped, the bottle tipping wild. Wine everywhere. Noah's lap. The floor. Laughter rippled from the bar, where a pack of suited bros in their 40s nursed scotches like they owned the joint, which, in this city, they probably did. "Faggot spilled his fairy juice." It wasn't Tyler who said it. It was Harlan, the manager, lumbering over from the hostess stand, his bow tie askew, breath reeking of bourbon. Harlan was a fixture in these circles, a relic from the 80s with a comb-over and a grudge against anyone who didn't fit his narrow mold of Manhattan machismo. He'd clocked them the second they walked in, two guys in slim-fit jeans, hands brushing, Noah's rainbow lapel pin glinting like a dare. Now, he loomed, red-faced, pointing at the mess. "Clean it up, sweetheart." Or you queers gonna make a scene. The room hushed, then ignited. Snickers from the linen-draped tables. A woman's gasp swallowed by her date's chuckle. Phones came out, discreet angles, capturing the spectacle for TikTok virality. Noah's cheeks burned, but he didn't move. He wouldn't. Not here. Not like this. Jackson's ankle pulled away, his hand vanishing into his pocket. Harlan, back off, Jackson muttered, voice low, but there was no fire in it. No stand up and fight. Just nothing. Harlan barked a laugh, clapping Tyler on the back. See? Even his boyfriend knows it's a joke. Lighten up. Rainbow. Ain't no pride parade in my dining room. The staff piled on. Tyler mopping half-heartedly while muttering, should have known better than to let you in. Noah's stomach churned, bile rising as he met Jackson's eyes. Pleading, distant, like Jackson was already somewhere else. Let's just go, Jackson whispered, tossing cash on the table. Not even enough for the untouched appetizers. They stumbled out into the November chill, the city a blur of yellow cabs and neon haze. Noah's shirt clung wet and cold, but it was the ache in his chest that froze him solid. What the hell was that? He demanded, spinning on Jackson under the awning of a shuttered bookstore. Rain started to spit from the sky, fat drops smacking the pavement like accusations. Jackson shrugged, lighting a cigarette with shaking hands, the habit he'd quit for Noah last spring. It was bullshit. Okay, Harlan's an asshole. We don't need that place. But you just sat there. Noah's voice cracked, the words he'd swallowed for months bubbling up. You let him call me that. You let them laugh. I didn't. You did. Noah stepped closer, rain slicking his hair, mixing with unshed tears. And it's not just tonight, Jax. It's the texts you delete when I walk in. The nights you come home smelling like cologne that's not mine. Who is he? Jackson's face crumpled, the cigarette dropping into a puddle. Noah. Baby. It's not. Save it. Noah turned, hailing a cab with a raised arm that trembled. The door slammed shut behind him, the city lights streaking past like accusations he couldn't outrun. Back in the loft, alone, he stripped off the ruined shirt, staring at his reflection in the bathroom mirror. Bruised ego, sure, but deeper betrayal, sharp as a serrated knife. Jackson didn't text, didn't call. Just silence, thick as the fog rolling off the Hudson. By dawn, Noah was at his laptop, fingers flying over keys not for code, but for something fiercer, revenge. Not petty, poetic. The Oak and Vine wasn't just a restaurant. It was Harlan's kingdom, a crumbling empire teetering on loans and whispers of bankruptcy. Noah's firm had investors sniffing around real estate flips. One email to his VC contact, a quick dive into public records, and the gears turned. By noon, offers were flying. By evening, the deal closed. The Oak and Vine was his. But it wasn't enough. Not yet. He needed Jackson to see it, to feel the weight of what he'd lost. Noah scrolled their old photos, Central Park picnics, lazy Sundays in bed, Jackson's tattooed arm slung over his waist. Love like that didn't die easy. Festered. Fought. And Noah? He was done running. That night, as the city slept under a blanket of frost, Noah lay awake, plotting not just the takeover, but the reclamation. Of the restaurant. Of himself. Maybe even of them if Jackson could remember how to fight for it. The next morning, Noah suited up, not his usual hoodies and jeans, but a charcoal Tom Ford, crisp as new resolve. He hit the streets, coffee in hand, the bite of autumn sharpening his senses. First stop, a notary in Midtown, signing the papers that made him owner of the Oak and Vine. The lawyer, a no-nonsense woman named Rita with a Bronx accent thick as gravy, slid the keys across the desk. Congrats, kid. Harlan's gonna shit bricks. Let him. Noah pocketed them, a grin tugging his lips for the first time since the spill. From there, it was a whirlwind. Calls to contractors for a rebrand, emails to his network for queer-friendly hires, sketches for a new menu that screamed inclusivity, dishes named after drag queens and Stonewall heroes. But beneath the hustle, the hurt pulsed. Jackson's radio silence was a ghost in the machine, haunting every keystroke. By afternoon, Noah was at the restaurant's back office, boxes of Harlan's dusty ledgers scattered like fallen soldiers. He rifled through, unearthing receipts for private parties, boozy boys' nights where Harlan played king, no women, no weirdos allowed. One photo slipped out, Jackson, grinning in the kitchen, arm around Tyler, Harlan in the background with a raised glass. Dated 2 weeks ago. Noah's breath hitched. There it was, the cologne, the late nights. Betrayal, served cold. He slammed the drawer, chest heaving. Not tears, not yet. Fury first. He texted Jackson, meet me at the Vine. 8 p.m. We end this. No response. Fine. Noah would make him come. As dusk fell, the staff trickled in for the evening shift, oblivious. Tyler clocked in, whistling some pop tune, until he spotted Noah at the bar, polishing glasses like he belonged. You again? Harlan said you're banned. Noah didn't look up. Harlan's out. I'm in, Tyler snorted. Funny. Security? Call him. Noah slid a contract across the polished oak. Or sign this. Non-discrimination clause. Pride menu starting next week. The kid's face paled as Harlan burst through the swing doors, red-faced and rumpled from whatever hole he'd crawled out of. What the fuck is this? My place. Our place. Noah corrected, standing tall. Sold this morning. To me. Harlan's laugh died in his throat as he scanned the papers. Bullshit. You? The pansy from last night. The owner. Noah's voice was steel, laced with the quiet thunder of a man who'd rebuilt himself from code and heartbreak. And you're fired. Pack your shit. The dining room filled with whispers as staff gathered, phones buzzing with the news. Harlan lunged, finger jabbing Noah's chest. You think you can waltz in here with your fag money and… Harlan, Jackson's voice cut through, low and ragged. He stood in the doorway, coat dripping from the rain, eyes locked on Noah like a lifeline. Stop! The room spun into silence. Jackson, here. Uninvited, but here. Noah's heart stuttered, a mix of rage and longing. Harlan sputtered, but Jackson stepped forward, hand on the manager's shoulder. He's right. It's over. You knew. Harlan wheeled on him. You slimy. I knew. Jackson's gaze never left Noah. And I should have said something last night. Every night. Noah swallowed, the air thick with unfinished sentences. The humiliation of the wine, the sting of the slurs, it all paled against this, Jackson, choosing sides at last. But whose? Harlan stormed out in a flurry of curses, the back door slamming like a guillotine. The staff exchanged glances, wary, excited, the electric hum of change crackling through the air. Tyler lingered, contract in hand, mumbling something about thinking it over before slinking to the kitchen. Noah exhaled, the weight of the keys in his pocket suddenly real, grounding. But Jackson was the variable, the glitch in the system Noah couldn't debug. You came, Noah said finally, voice barely above the hum of the espresso machine. He busied himself behind the bar, stacking coasters, anything to avoid those whiskey eyes boring into him. Couldn't not. Jackson leaned against the polished counter, raindrops tracing paths down his neck, soaking into the collar of his flannel. He looked wrecked, stubble shadowing his jaw, the easy confidence chipped away like old paint. Your text. I figured it was now or never. Noah snorted, a bitter edge to it. Now or never. Cute. Like we haven't been dancing around that for months. He poured 2 fingers of the house bourbon, Harlan's private stash, now fair game, and slid one across. Drink. Then talk. Jackson took it, fingers brushing Noah's in a spark that neither acknowledged. He downed it in one, the burn drawing a hiss. I'm sorry. About last night. About everything. The words tumbled out, raw and unpolished, the way Jackson always confessed, over burnt pancakes or in the dark after a fight. Harlan's place was a side gig, but it turned into more. The parties, the connections. Tyler, he's nobody. Noah. A flirt, a distraction. But I let it happen because I was scared. Scared. Noah's laugh was sharp, echoing off the exposed brick walls. Of what? Us. This. He gestured wildly. The gleaming silverware, the leather-bound menus, the city pulsing beyond the fogged windows. We've built a life, Jax. Apps and aprons. Remember? You cook. Code. We were unbreakable. Were. Jackson's voice cracked on the word, and he set the glass down hard enough to slosh amber droplets. Then your funding round hit, and suddenly you're jetting to Silicon Valley, schmoozing VCs in hoodies worth my rent. I felt small, like I was holding you back with my grease-stained dreams. Noah's anger faltered, pierced by the truth in it. He'd seen the distance growing, the way Jackson's smiles tightened when Noah talked valuations and exits. But admitting fault meant sharing the load, and Noah had been too buried in boards to notice the fracture. So you what? Drowned it in bourbon and boys' club bullshit? Let Harlan spew his hate because it made you feel big. Jackson winced, rubbing his neck. Yeah. God. Yeah. And last night, when he went after you, I froze. Like a coward. Because if I called him out, the whole facade crumbled. The job, the network, us pretending we were fine. The dining room was empty now, pre-shift quiet settling like dust. Noah rounded the bar, closing the distance, the scent of rain and regret clinging to Jackson like a second skin. We're not fine, Jax. But we're here. His hand found Jackson's jaw, thumb tracing the stubble, a touch both tender and testing. Jackson leaned into it, eyes fluttering shut, and for a heartbeat, it was them again under the bridge, in their loft, the world fading to just skin and size. Then Jackson pulled back, eyes opening with a storm of their own. What now? You own the joint. Harlan's gone. But me? Noah's pulse thrummed, the question hanging heavy. Forgiveness wasn't a switch. It was a slow rebuild, brick by aching brick. Help me fix it. Not just the place, the mess we made. He nodded toward the kitchen. Start tomorrow. Head chef. Your menu, Your rules. But no more hiding. No more letting assholes like Harlan define us. Jackson's grin flickered, tentative but real, the one that crinkled his eyes and made Noah's knees weak. Deal. But one condition, date night. Here. No spills. No slurs. Just us. Noah barked a laugh, the sound foreign but welcome. You're on. They sealed it with a kiss, slow, searching, tasting of bourbon and second chances. The staff filtered in as they broke apart, catcalls and whistles breaking the spell. Tyler signed the contract, eyes downcast, and the shift kicked off with a buzz. Word of the takeover spreading like wildfire on Insta. Over the next weeks, the oak and vine transformed. Noah's vision took root. No more stuffy velvet ropes. Instead, rainbow neon in the windows, a Stonewall sling cocktail with rainbow layers, dishes like Harvey's Heartbreaker steak, seared rare with a side of grilled asparagus for that milk era nod. Jackson helmed the kitchen, his tattoos flashing under the heat lamps as he barked orders with renewed fire. Staff turnover was brutal at first, Harlan's loyalists bailing, but Noah's hires filled the gaps. A trans bartender with killer flair, queer servers who owned the floor like it was their runway. Nights blurred into a rhythm. Service rush, then close with Jackson, stealing kisses amid the clatter of cleanup. Sex in the walk-in, frantic and forgiving, bodies mapping apologies on flour-dusted counters. But the idol cracked on a Friday, peak hour, when a familiar face walked in, Harlan, sober-suited, flanked by a shark of a lawyer and a gaggle of reporters. Flashbulbs popped, the room tilting into chaos. Noah Ellis? The lawyer drawled, southern accent slick as oil. Mr. Harlan here contests the sale. Claims undue influence. Emotional distress from your aggressive tactics. Harlan smirked, eyes raking Noah like yesterday's trash. Boy thought he could buy respect. But this city's got rules. And queers like you break 'em. Jackson emerged from the kitchen, apron smeared, knuckles white on a cleaver. Get out. Or I carve you a new smile. The reporters ate it up, headlines brewing. Revenge of the spurned diner? Noah's stomach nodded, the old humiliation resurfacing. But he straightened, mic in hand like a weapon. This isn't revenge, Harlan. It's justice. You built a castle on hate. I turned it into a home. Sue me. The truth's a hell of a defense. The standoff made national news, CNN clips, viral threads on X decrying corporate homophobia. Noah's inbox flooded. Support from GLAAD, hate from trolls. But through it, Jackson was steel, cooking triple batches, holding Noah through nightmares where wine stains turned to blood. We're in this, he'd murmur, fingers laced tight. All the way, yet doubt crept in, insidious as fog off the river. Late one night, post-shift, Noah overheard Jackson on the phone in the alley. Yeah, it's rough. But he's worth it. No, man, I'm done with that life. Tyler's voice, tinny through the speaker. The call ended quick, but the seed planted. Had Jackson really cut ties? Or was this just another act? The lawsuit dragged into December, snow blanketing the city in whiteout hush. The Vine thrived despite it, holiday bookings packed, a New Year's Eve bash with drag queens headlining, confetti raining like absolution. Noah and Jackson stole a midnight moment on the roof, city sprawl glittering below, champagne flutes clinking. To us, Jackson toasted, pulling Noah close. The plot twist nobody saw coming. Their lips met, soft against the chill, promises whispered in the wind. But as fireworks bloomed over the skyline, Noah's phone buzzed. A leaked email from Harlan's camp, time-stamped last week. Jackson's name on a witness list. For the defense. Betrayal. Round 2. Noah slipped from the embrace, the cold seeping deeper than winter. Jax. What did you do? Jackson's face drained of color, the lie dying on his tongue. It wasn't, I swear. I told them no, but the damage was done, a chasm widening under their feet. The romance that had rebuilt them now teetered on the edge, and Noah wondered if some stories ended not in fireworks, but in the quiet shatter of trust. The email burned in Noah's pocket like contraband, the rooftop kiss souring into ash on his tongue. He descended the spiral stairs to the alley alone, boots crunching frost-laced gravel, Jackson's calls echoing unanswered into the night. The city, usually a symphony of possibility, mocked him now, horns blaring like laughter, neon signs winking sucker. Back in the loft, he fired up his laptop, not for code, but for war. Digging into Jackson's emails, hacked in a fit of desperation, ethics be damned. Unearthing threads with Tyler, Harlan's circle. Flirty at first, then complicit, Jackson feeding intel on weak spots in Noah's pitch. Harlan's ammo for the suit. Why? Noah whispered to the screen's glow, tears hot and unbidden. He'd built an empire from hurt, turned poison into power. But love? It was the one code he couldn't crack. By dawn, the decision crystallized. Confrontation, not capitulation. He drafted the severance, head chef. No bridges burned, just quietly raised. Service that day was a blur, the holiday buzz masking Noah's hollow core. Staff chattered about the drag show's afterparty, but he moved like a ghost, comping tables with mechanical smiles. Jackson arrived late, eyes bloodshot, apron tied with false bravado. We need to talk, he said, cornering Noah in the dry goods pantry, the air thick with spices and unspoken rot. Talk. Noah shoved the printout at him, the email chain, highlighted in damning yellow. Or confess. How long? Jax? How deep did you let them pull you under? Jackson scanned it, face crumpling like wet paper. Noah. Listen, Harlan cornered me after the sale. Said if I didn't play ball, he'd tank my references, blackball me from every kitchen in the 5 boroughs. I stalled. Told them scraps. Nothing real. To buy time. Time for what? To decide whose side you're on. Noah's voice rose, shelves rattling with jars of saffron and sea salt. You sat there last night, toasting us, while plotting with the man who called me a faggot. It wasn't like that. Jackson grabbed his arm, grip fierce, eyes wild. I love you. This place, us, it's everything. I was protecting it. Protecting you. By betraying me? The word hung, a guillotine blade. Noah yanked free, chest heaving. Get out. You're done here. Done with me. Jackson staggered back, the fight draining like blood from a wound. Noah, please. We can fix. No. The door swung open to the dining floor, curious eyes turning. You chose once before. Choose again. But not on my dime. He walked away, the clatter of plates drowning his sobs until closing, when the emptiness hit like a freight train. The lawsuit hearing loomed, a January storm front. Noah prepped solo, Rita drilling him on depositions. But sleep evaded, nights tangled in sheets that still smelled of Jackson's cedar cologne. Friends rallied. his VC buddy sending care packages of artisanal jerky and queer lit, a therapist via Zoom unpacking the abandonment echoes from Dad's sermons. "You're not broken," she said. "You're rebuilding." And he was. The Vine pulsed with life. A poetry slam for trans youth. Partnerships with local shelters for job training. Revenue spiked. Reviews glowing. Finally, a spot where love feels welcome. But the heart of it ached. A hollow where Jackson's laugh used to echo. The courthouse on Center Street was a fortress of marble and misery. Security wands beeping like judgmental heartbeats. Noah arrived early, suit starched, resolve armored. Harlan slunk in with his entourage, sneer intact, but the gallery buzzed, activists in rainbow pins, reporters scribbling. Jackson was there, back row, anonymous in a wool coat, eyes locking on Noah's with a plea that twisted the knife. The judge, a no-frills woman with silver streaks, called order. Harlan's lawyer opened. Tales of coercion. A vulnerable veteran, Harlan's Gulf War scars trotted out like props, hounded by a vindictive millennial. Exhibits flashed, grainy photos of the wine spill, twisted into assault. Noah's turn came, voice steady as he recounted the slurs, the laughter, the systemic rot. This wasn't business. It was bigotry. And I bought it to heal what he broke. Cross-examination was brutal. "Isn't this payback, Mr. Ellis? For a lover's quarrel?" The lawyer waved a redacted text. Jackson's. Leaked. Gasps rippled. Noah's gaze flicked to the back. Jackson. Ashen. Mouth agape. "No," Noah said. "Chin up. It's progress. For every queer kid told they don't belong." Recess hit like a mercy. Noah bolted to the hall, lungs burning, only to collide with Jackson, coffee cups tumbling, steam rising like ghosts. "You saw," Noah accused, voice raw. "I had to come. To testify for you." Jackson's hands hovered, aching to touch. "Harlan subpoenaed me, but I flipped. Told Rita everything. It's why the chain leaked. They're desperate." Noah searched his face, the truth warring with the scars. "Why should I believe you? After everything? Because I walked away for good." Jackson pulled a USB from his pocket. Harlan's dirt, off-books payoffs, discriminatory HR logs. "This ends him. And us. If that's what you want. But I choose you, Noah. Every time. Even when it hurts." The bell rang, session resuming. Noah pocketed the drive, the weight shifting. "Stay. Watch." Harlan's case crumbled under the evidence. The judge's gavel a thunderclap. Dismissal. Sanctions. A mandated diversity audit. Cheers erupted. Hugs from strangers. But Noah's eyes sought Jackson. Standing now, applause mingling with tears. Outside, snow swirled, blanketing the steps in fragile white. "You did it," Jackson said, breath fogging the air. "We did." Noah stepped closer, the chasm narrowing. "But trust. It's earned back slow." "I know." Jackson's hand found his, tentative. "Can I start?" A nod, small but seismic. They walked into the flurry together, the city reborn in winter's hush, not fixed, but mending. The Vine awaited, a beacon amid the drifts, and for the first time in months, Noah glimpsed a future not just survivable, but sweet. Yet the holidays lingered like a hangover, forcing reckonings. New Year's had come and gone in a haze of champagne toasts and tentative toasts, but Valentine's loomed, a minefield of red hearts and hollow expectations. Noah dove into work, curating a Love is Love menu. Jackson's recipes, reimagined with notes from their past. Oysters like that first festival night. Ribeye for the steakhouse dreams they'd whispered. But crediting Jackson felt like forgiveness half given, a bridge half built. The betrayal's echo played in quiet moments, scrolling old voicemails. Jackson's voice gravelly with sleep. Miss you already. Or spotting a text from Tyler. Blocked. But the ghost remained. Noah's therapist called it residual trauma. Prescribed journaling. What do I deserve? The pages filled with fire. Deserve fire. Deserve fierce. Deserve a love that stands. One blizzard night. The vine shuttered early. Streets empty save for plow trucks growling. Noah lingered, polishing the bar to a mirror sheen, when Jackson appeared, unannounced, bearing takeout from a rival spot, grease-spotted bags steaming. Peace offering, he said, sheepish grin cracking the ice. Your menu's better, but I figured neutral ground. They ate at the corner booth, the spill's ghost, forks clinking in companionable quiet. Jackson broke it first. I sold my Vespa. The one from our road trip to the Cape. Used the cash for a deposit on that food truck idea. Solo. No Harlan. No shortcuts. Noah paused. Fork midway. Why tell me? Because I'm showing up. For real. Jackson's eyes held steady. Vulnerability raw. And because I wrote you something. He slid a folded paper across. Lyrics, scribbled in his blocky hand, to a half-remembered song from their early days. In the grind of the city lights, you were my quiet fight. Noah read, throat tight. Jax, not asking for absolution. Just a verse back. Jackson stood, clearing plates with deliberate calm. Kitchen's yours if you want it. He vanished into the back, leaving Noah with ink-stained words and a heart thawing. By closing, he joined him, apron on, chopping onions that blurred with more than steam. They cooked side by side, bodies sinking like old code, laughter bubbling as dough rose and sauces simmered. No words needed, the rhythm spoke. But climax brewed beyond the walls. Harlan, scorched by defeat, went scorched earth. A tell-all blog, anonymous but obvious, spilling truths about Noah's predatory buyout, laced with outing Jackson's indiscretions. It went viral ablaze, trolls swarming the Vine's feed with slurs, reservations tanking overnight. Protests formed, supporters with signs, eat with pride. Haters hurling epithets. Noah faced it head-on. Live stream from the bar. Hate's loud, but love's louder. Come eat. Or don't. We're here anyway. Views soared. Allies mobilized fundraisers. Celeb endorsements. Jackson manned the line, plating with defiant flourish. But off-camera, he cracked. What if they win? What if we lose this? We won't. Noah pulled him into the office. Door locked. Bodies crashing in a tangle of need and fear. It was desperate. Teeth and tears. Reclaiming what words couldn't. You're mine. Noah gasped against Jackson's neck. And this place? Ours. The surge came. Lines out the door. Media circus turning sympathetic. Harlan's blog backfired, lawsuits flying his way for defamation. In the eye, Noah and Jackson found footing, date nights enforced, therapy joint, vulnerabilities bared like peeled garlic. Romance rekindled, not rose-tinted, but real, burnt toast mornings, bodega runs at 2 a.m., hands held in the subway's sway. Spring hinted at thaw. Cherry blossoms dusting the park where they'd first fought and made up. Walking there one dusk, Fingers intertwined. Jackson stopped. Marry me? Not a ring, just the question. Hanging soft. Noah's breath caught. The world narrowing to yes. Yeah. Hell yeah. But stories don't end tidy. They layer. The vine stood stronger, a testament, but the scars, wine stains faded, but felt. And in that humanity, they thrived. Summer hit Manhattan like a fever dream, humidity thick as desire, the city shedding winter skin for concrete mirages and rooftop parties that stretched till sunrise. The oak and vine adapted seamlessly, outdoor seating under string lights, frozen rose slushies rimmed with edible glitter, Jackson's grill firing up veggie skewers for the vegan influx. Business boomed, the lawsuit a distant scar, Harlan a footnote in tabloid obits. He'd skip town for Florida, peddling real estate to retirees who didn't ask questions. Noah and Jackson settled into engagement's glow. No grand gestures, just quiet rituals, a shared Google Calendar for us time, rings simple tungsten bands engraved with plot twist. But beneath the idol, fissures lingered. Jackson's food truck launched in June, a retro Airstream parked at Smorgasburg weekends, slinging queer bites, rainbow mac and cheese, burgers with bacon from heritage pigs, a nod to his farm boy roots in upstate. It was his baby, independent, and Noah swelled with pride watching him hustle, sweat slicked and shouting orders. Yet envy gnawed at Noah, his days chained to screens, scaling the app into a green tech unicorn, while Jackson chased sunsets on four wheels. You're living, Noah confessed one night, tangled in sheets after a vine close. I'm just optimizing, Jackson propped on elbow, tracing Noah's collarbone. Hey, you're the dreamer who made this possible. My truck? It's got your code in the POS system. Hiss. Light. Balance. Babe. We'll find it. They tried weekends upstate, hiking the Catskills, where cell service died and egos deflated. Around a campfire, Jackson opened up, letters from his ma, post coming out, a mix of proud but prey that still stung. I hid from that hurt by hiding from you, he admitted, embers popping like regrets. Noah shared too. Dad's funeral last fall, skipped for a pitch, the guilt a low hum. We armor up, but it weighs. Vulnerability bonded them tighter. Sex evolving from frantic to sacred, slow explorations by candlelight, whispers mapping futures. Adoption dreams, a house in Hudson with a garden for Jackson's herbs. But conflict simmered external now, a new antagonist in boardroom suits. Noah's firm eyed the vine for a synergy play, fold it into a chain, standardize the soul out. Think empire, his CEO pushed over stake at per se. Not some feel-good fad, Noah balked, the idea slimy as Harlan's grin. It's not for sale. It's home, but the pressure mounted. Stock whispers, investor calls laced with or else. Jackson sensed it. The late nights Noah burned oil debugging escape clauses. Fight it, he urged, over takeout tacos on the truck's hood. Or let me. The climax crested in August, a heat wave choking the city, tempers fraying like old awnings. The Vine hosted a pride afterparty, walls pulsing with bass, bodies a kaleidoscope of glitter and grit. Noah and Jackson danced, lost in each other, until a suit crashed the vibe. Victor Lang, the CEO, champagne flute in hand, schmoozing donors like conquests. Noah, the man of the hour. Victor clapped his back. Too hard. Heard the boards chatty. Let's talk expansion over caviar. Not tonight. Noah's jaw tightened, pulling Jackson closer. Victor laughed, eyes sliding dismissive over Jackson's ink. Come on. This queer charity shtick? Adorable. But scalability. Tick? Jackson stepped forward, voice low thunder. This shtick employs 30 folks who'd be on the street without it. Back off. The music dipped, heads turning. Victor's smile congealed. Security? We're talking business. Noah's blood roared, betrayal redux, but corporate flavored. Victor's out, he announced. Mic snatched from the DJ. Anyone who sees people as lines on a spreadsheet? Not welcome. Cheers erupted, but Victor's glare promised fallout. Emails by morning. Board revolt brewing. The boardroom showdown was surgical, glass walls overlooking the Hudson. Aircon blasting Arctic. Noah presented. Projections sans chain. The Vine as standalone jewel. It's profitable because it's authentic. Dilute that. You kill the golden goose. The suits murmured. Victor sneering. Sentiment over sense? Your CO material. Ellis. But this? Amateur hour. Vote split. Tension coiling. Then Jackson burst in, unscripted. Apron swapped for slacks. USB in fist. Amateur? Try visionary. He plugged in. Screens blooming with data, customer loyalty metrics, social impact reports, testimonials from staff, Tyler's redemption arc included. Now a Sue with a story. The room shifted, whispers turning admiring. Victor fumed, but the vote swung. Standalone approved. Expansion nixed. As they filed out, a board ally pulled Noah aside. Your partner's a force. Keep him. Exhilaration hit the elevator. Jackson whooping, lifting Noah in a spin. We did it. Lips crashed. Victory tasting of salt and sweat. But in the afterglow, over loft takeout, Noah faltered. You saved me. Again. Nah. Team. Jackson's eyes softened. But that truck is pulling me away. Weekend's gone. Ideas stacking. What if I want more? A second spot. Maybe Jersey. The fork paused. Noah's heart stuttered, not jealousy, but fear. And us? In the grind. Jackson cupped his face. Us first. Always. But the seed of doubt sprouted. Whispers of drift. Fall gilded the leaves. Harvest moon fat over farmers' markets where Jackson sourced. The Vine hosted weddings now. Queer elopements under the oaks. Noah officiating in bowtie chic. Their own plans coalesced. A spring ceremony in the park. Vows handwritten on napkins during a lull. Romance deepened. Emotional tides sinking. Jackson's truck a success. Noah's app greening cities coast to coast. Yet the betrayal's shadow lengthened with a call from upstate. Jackson's ma. Frail voice cracking. Come home, son. Before it's too late. Cancer. Stage 3. Jackson flew solo. Noah buried in a Tokyo summit. Days stretched to a week. Text sparse. She's tough. Miss you. Then silence. Noah landed to voicemails. Jackson. Wrecked. I can't. Need space. Panic clawed. Noah drove north. Tires eating miles. Autumn blaze blurring. The farmhouse sagged under elms. Ma in hospice bed. Jackson at her side. Hollow-eyed. Jax. Noah breathed. Door creaking. Jackson rose. Movements wooden. She asked about you. Said we remind her of her and Dad fierce. Flawed. A beat. But seeing her fade. It guts me. Makes me question everything. The city. The dreams. What if we're chasing ghosts? Noah knelt, hand on Jackson's knee. We're real. This us is the anchor. Ma's eyes fluttered open. Weak smile. Listen to him, Jackie. Love's the fight worth losing sleep over. She passed at dawn, sky streaking pink. They buried her under the family plot, dirt rich with memory. Back in the city, grief coiled tight, Jackson retreating to the truck. Noah to code. Fights flared. You're pulling away. I'm drowning. Noah. The rupture peaked in November. Anniversary Eve, 1 year since the spill. The Vine empty. Snow dusting windows. They circled the bar like duelists. I can't breathe here, Jackson exploded, voice echoing. The truck's my out, but it's not enough. I need roots. Real ones. And I need you, Noah shot back, tears hot. Not half in, chasing horizons while I hold the fort. Jackson deflated, shoulders slumping. Maybe we're the conflict. 2 storms. No shelter. The word hung break. Noah's world tilted, the empire crumbling inward. Then go. But know this, I bought that place for revenge. Stayed for redemption. Loved you for everything. Jackson lingered, then walked into the flurry, door chiming final. Alone. Noah shattered. A glass hurled, wine pooling like old wounds. Dawn broke gray, the loft echoing empty. Winter clamped down hard that year, the kind of cold that seeped into bones and bred isolation. Noah navigated it numb, mornings at the Vine mechanical, smiles pasted for staff who whispered concern behind his back. The engagement ring sat in a drawer, tungsten mocking his palm like a promise unkept. Jackson's truck vanished from markets, rumors swirling, sold, relocated south. No calls, no texts, just a certified letter severing ties. Truck lease in Noah's name as parting gift. Noble, Noah thought bitterly. Or guilt. The restaurant soldiered on, a phoenix of resilience. Valentine's brought a surge singles mixers with therapy icebreakers, couples nights with vow renewals. Noah poured himself into it, curating events that healed strangers while his own heart frayed. Tyler stepped up, promoted to manager, his redemption arc complete. You gave me a shot when no one would. Boss. Let me return it. Gratitude swelled, humanistic threads weaving through the loss. Noah volunteered at a youth center, coding workshops for queer kids. Build your world, not theirs. Their eyes lit with possibility, mirrors to his younger self, chasing escape in binary. One boy, wide-eyed with braces, asked, "How'd you get past the hate?" Noah paused, Harlan's slur echoing. By owning it. Turning pain to power. Spring unfurled tentative. Tulips pushing through frost-kissed soil. The Vine's patio bloomed, brunches drawing crowds with mimosas and mocktails for sobriety circles. Noah dated casual, coffee meetups with app matches, kind faces but no spark. You're still hung up, his therapist noted, sessions now solo. Grieve the betrayal, but celebrate the growth. Growth came in waves. A TEDx talk on hospitality as activism. Applause thundering like validation. Book deals nibbled, memoir of the takeover. Spilled wine to empire. But nights alone. The loft a cavern. He'd scroll old photos. Jackson mid-laugh. Flower dusted. Ice crinkled in joy. Love like that didn't evaporate. It distilled, sharp and sustaining. Summer hummed back. Pride a riot of color reclaiming streets. The vines float in the parade, drag queens on a float shaped like the bar. Tossing glitter grenades, drew whoops. Noah marched, rainbow flag draped, chest lighter. Halfway, a familiar silhouette, Jackson. At the sidelines, truck parked curbside, apron swapped for a faded tee. No approach, just watching. A nod exchanged across the throng, heavy with unsaid. Contact came circuitous. A care package to the vine, anonymous till the note, Jackson's scrawl. Taste of the road. Keep fighting. Inside, jars of his ma's preserves. A truck menu draft with Noah's Nest scribbled. A brunch special, eggs and hope. Noah's throat closed. He plated it for staff, tears salting the hash. Autumn deepened the pull. A storm knocked power citywide. The vine dark but alive. Candlelit readings, acoustic sets by candlelight. Noah closed early, wandering to the bridge, wind whipping the East River to froth. Footsteps echoed, Jackson, coat collar up, hands shoved deep. Couldn't stay away. Noah turned, heart a drum. Why now? Months on the road, Asheville, Savannah. Cooking for farm collectives, queer co-ops. Found roots, like Ma wanted. Jackson's voice roughened. But the whole, it's U-shaped. I ran because grief swallowed me, and I dragged you under. Stupid, pain lanced, but softened by time's bomb. I waited, hoped, then stopped, started living. Jackson stepped closer, city lights haloing his silhouette. You look good. Strong. A pause, breath clouding. Can we try? Slow. No rings, no rush. Just coffee. Or tacos. Noah searched those whiskey eyes, seeing not betrayal's ghost, but redemption's spark. The plot twist they'd both earned. Tacos sound good. A hand extended, tentative clasp, warm, real. They rebuilt deliberate, truck pop-ups at the Vine. Joint menus blending code-inspired precision with gut-fire flair. Dates in dive bars. No pretension. Pool sharks and bad karaoke. Laughter rediscovering its rhythm. Conflicts arose. Jackson's wanderlust clashing Noah's anchor. But they talked. Therapists tag-teaming. Turning storms to strategy. Winter circled back. Anniversary marking 2 years since the spill. The Vine transformed. Gala for the youth center. Tables groaning under dishes co-created. Noah and Jackson circled the room. Hands brushing. A quiet proposal redux, no knees. Just whispers over dessert. Partners. In all of it. Yes. Sealed with a kiss amid applause. Not grand, but profound. The story didn't end in fireworks or fractures. It hummed on, humanistic in its mess. A restaurant reborn as sanctuary. 2 men mended by choice. In America's grind, where dreams curdled sweet or sour, they chose sweet. Together, the oak and vine stood as testament. From humiliation's stain to legacy's bloom. Love the ultimate takeover. Epilogue whispers. A year on. Vows exchanged under bridge shadows. Guests toasting with Harlan's old bourbon. To plot twists, Jackson's truck toured. Noah's app greened the globe. Their loft now a home with herb pots and code whiteboards. Betrayals scarred, but healed into stories swapped over wine, spill-proof glasses. Naturally. In the end, not tragedy or tidy happy, but human, flawed, fierce, forever unfinished.